Space nerds, what's up? How you doing? You ever wanted to run a fleet, like a big fleet, with spaceships, close range, long range, torpedoes, missiles, escape pods, all that stuff? There's this pretty cool game, it's called Falling Frontier, and I know a lot of people who've been waiting for it, you might be interested. It's taken a little while to get there, but the developer put out a new update today about the combat that's going into it, Shutterfox Studios, and it's actually pretty interesting. It goes from long range to close range and how your fleet command is going to work out with a bunch of different ships. First, we're going to look at an actual overview of the whole game for those who haven't actually seen it before. Apologies if my camera's having some trouble, we're getting that figured out on my end. Basically imagine if, it's like The Expanse meets Homeworld. Very wide range though. This is a real-time strategy game for those who haven't caught on yet. Not quite 4X, but it's still at the scale of a real-time strategy game. You can see that you're doing a system-wide gameplay. So you're going from moon to moon to moon to planet to asteroid, and you've got different areas of engagement that are acting as different parts of the map.
Possible targets online now.
Of course, you got ship customization. I know you've also got quite a bit of lore that is built into the factions that you're playing as. There's a whole story behind this. There's a single player side to it. Actually, I think most of it is single player. Let me confirm for you real quick, because I think the whole thing is, it's single player. Yes, it is single player. Okay, so let's look at the combat overview here, because it actually is pretty interesting. So when you go into combat, like I said, there are parts of each star system that are a map. So first you're engaging at a pretty long distance, generally scanning and getting information about the ships. So what it says here is anything outside of your ship's vision, but still relatively close, within the navigation plane is presented as a LiDAR contact. So one of the cool things about this game is it has that kind of 3D variation in the map that's known in Homeworld. The asteroids act as blockers to your line of vision as well, so you obviously can't fight in that line of vision, with caveats we'll come over later. So it says in this series of screenshots, you get a destroyed vessel entering visual range and becoming a known via LiDAR. You can see that slowly the ship moves and finds the contact here next to this asteroid. From there though, once you actually get the information and you start to engage, you're launching missiles, rockets, and vertical launch system ordnance, lobbing long-range missiles and attempting to overwhelm close-in weapon systems like PDCs. And interestingly enough here, as I said, you don't necessarily have to be close. You've got a ship back here, I think it's a destroyer, lobbing missiles at another ship up here using the sightlines of a frigate over here. Description reads, in the screenshots below, a Bearwick frigate paints a target in close range while a Sheffield destroyer sits behind an asteroid that's well out of range. The Sheffield destroyer fires several missiles and at least one hits its target. Others followed decoys and some got lost to asteroids in the AO. So there's E-war going on, there's decoys, there's a lot of bait and switch. It's more strategy than just an arcade get close in and start brawling, which I like because a lot of the trailers that we saw previously showed a lot of closer range stuff, and even the video that we're going to watch will have it's more close range than what you see in this picture. But it's good to see that this is how engagements are being scaled, because I think a lot of people love that there is a staged set of combat. You have that long range engagement where you're trying to get past their PDCs and disable them with the first punch if you can, but then you got to get in close and finish them off with the railgun, which they talk about here, kind of. They say in mid-range warfare, you know what the battle space looked like, and you know what it could evolve into. It's where you can start to maneuver your vessel based upon your assessment of the AO. This is likely when you're able to launch a second salvo of your VLS, those rockets that they sent out before. Regardless, during this phase, it can be beneficial to stick close to any asteroid clusters that you can. One of my favorite parts about this is that the asteroids actually are part of the map. And I mean, a lot of RTS has map geometry to get around, but space can be kind of weird in a way. I haven't played too many space RTS, but I feel like you gotta get a little bit creative with it. And I like what they've done here. So in the screenshots below, we're seeing they've had the frigate move into cover near some asteroids and begin using its railgun with a friendly frigate engaging in some electronic warfare and disrupting nearby missiles. So you could see kind of like how there's a little bit of lens flare-ish going on, some effects going on. I think that is some E-war going on that helps to disable missiles and tracking systems. All of this time that you're doing all this battle, you're also going over to these panels and you're kind of figuring out like, where are your squadrons going? Every ship has squadrons that you can assign. You have crew that's on the ship. Obviously the crew needs supplies, so you do have to keep them supplied with chains of supplies. You have to obviously get minerals when you're mining for your base, so you have to send out mining frigates, and those need escorts. All those people need supplies, and at any point they can be attacked. And when they are attacked, if a ship blows up, you actually have to go and retrieve the people. So it's a very tangible kind of game, and you do have to pay attention to what's going on with your people over here in these side panels while you're doing your battle. Now the fourth phase of combat, they say here, is where things get up close and personal. All about broadsides and trying to maneuver your ship into the blind spot of your opponents, while also keeping in mind that just because you're in the blind spot of ship A doesn't mean your enemy has no visibility on you. When you string all these phases together, they say, you have a complete combat encounter in Falling Frontier. Here's a preview of what that looks like, including updated jump mechanics, the in-world UI, scanning effects, drone squadrons, cannons, missiles, railguns, asteroid destruction, and etc. baby. Let's check it out.
TACCOM Type B from event building line. Event horizon imminent.
Solid copy. Your jump has been registered. Safe journey along the fall.
My favorite part is immediately you get the sense of all the comms traffic going on. If you listen to it, it does make sense throughout this whole thing. If you listen to it, it can be kind of hard to decipher, but you can get information from it. Keep track of the objectives up here in the top right. So this is our... Love that whistle.
Airwing group online.
This is our main ship. He's selecting an air wing from the ship and sending it to this ship as an assigned escort. So you'll see them fly over here in a minute as that ship starts its patrol.
TACCOM on Type B with you.
Delivery. Vector towards target and uplink.
Captain has the helm ready for task.
Standard kind of mission too. Get into an area, hold that position until a timer stops.
Establishing connection.
TACCOM on the line. Get ready to vector. Airwing group online.
So you can see the air wing is now assigned to this ship over here.
TACCOM on Type B.
They jump and immediately start launching missiles. But you can see these PDCs immediately start firing at the missiles before they're even away. So it looks like that blast just scrambled missiles, sent them flying. You can see this squadron is going on the attack here. Plenty of shots coming from the cruiser. This guy's getting in behind. Still taking out every missile that they're firing away, but landing a ton of shots on this guy. You gotta be careful. I thought he was about to run into that asteroid. He's going underneath it. You have to pay attention where asteroids are. Again, taking out every missile, scrambling the other ones. His ship just went down. What I think is interesting is that as you're taking shots with your long-range guns and missiles, you can actually try to take out systems on ships. So you can take out their life support, their thrusters, and just disable them without having to blow them up. You can see here, I think this ship is either jettisoning cargo or people in escape pods. Which, you know, if you kill might be a bit of a war crime. But the battle is won. Looks like they're calling their air wing back.
Drone sectoring now.
I like the simplified dogfighter controls. And I imagine now you can salvage the scrap. So that is a look at a combat engagement in Falling Frontier. I just wanted to give you a look at this. I am obsessed with this game, and it's constantly saying in the back of my head anytime he releases something, I'm jumping on it. I'll be covering it when it comes out, but until then, I'll just be giving you the news whenever I see some. I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you in the next one.